has adopted a self-financing plan that effectively tells all its members, all 54 member states, to implement a 0.2% levy on eligible imports. This decision came into operation in January this year, having been adopted at last year's summit in the middle of 2016 in the Rwandan capital, Kigali. At the moment, roughly 67% of financial contributions are collected annually from member states, but about 30 countries default, either partially or completely, and that creates a significant funding gap between the planned budget and what is actually available to spend. Now, this hinders effective delivery of the AU's agenda. The taxable base of the AU import levy will be the value of eligible goods originating from a non-member state imported into the territory of a member state to be consumed in that particular state. Now, let's dig a little deeper into the details of how exactly this funding plan will work. Dr. Ligan Masambasene is an economist. He's my guest tonight from the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa. Thank you very much for your time this evening, sir. Last year at the AU summit, as we mentioned, this funding plan being proposed, 0.2% levy on imports to fund AU operations. Do you know how many countries are yet to comply and why?
Yeah, first of all, let me thank all the member states for taking this big step, because this will allow Africa to fund its development program without relying on external donors and external partners, so that they will implement their poverty level elevation and growth in an efficient way. And at the time we are talking, member states are doing effort in order to start implementing this levy import, and to start also giving Africa a reliable funding option and also sustainable funding options that will not rely on donors.
Indeed. Tell us, how does the 0.2% levy work in practice, though? Is it that everything is going to be taxed, food, medicines, that sort of thing, or is it restricted to a set kind or category of goods?
So at this level, it's true that implementation will be the most difficult point. But what you want to do is that we will take into account the national priorities of each country, and also the national development orientation of the country, so that if there are some countries that have some kind of exemption on some products, their products will not be taken into account when implementing the levy import plan.
Indeed. We'll leave it there.
So that is the way it's going to work.
Indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. Thank you for that. We do appreciate your time. We've, of course, have been speaking to Dr. Sene, who's an economist. He was live, of course, a little earlier on in the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa.